briefing for the upcoming air show, which will be on November 15th. That's this Sunday. It will start at 12 noon and end at 11 p.m. And I have to my right Mr. Frank Versteeg, who's the coordinator of the pilots for the air show, and who has been working with us from the onset in putting this air show together. We will like to inform everyone that the air show, it's not going to be only an air show. Of course, the air show is the main event that everyone is coming to see. But for everyone's enjoyment, we've also made a family day, a family fun day out of it, so that people can come out and enjoy the day on the boardwalk. We will have different foods, different booths with foods and drinks, and activities for the kids. We're going to have lots of entertainment, and to all of this leading up to the air show. And then after the air show as well, we will have the Boardwalk Jazz Festival as well to end off the evening, which I will give you some more information about that later. Again, the show is going to be on November 15th. We will start at noon with all the festivities and entertainment, and it will end at 11 p.m. With the Boardwalk Jazz Festival. One of the reasons why we're doing this air show at this time is so that we can further celebrate St. Martin's Day. This is St. Martin's Day week, and the air show on Sunday will end the week and will basically bring down the curtains on the St. Martin's Day celebrations.
I will take you through, first of all, welcome and introduction, the dates, location of the maps, noise versus music. I will explain something about the safety measures which are used at the organization of an air festival. I will introduce the performance to you, and I will finish the presentation with some information about crowd control. And my name is Frank Versteeg, and I started flying a long time ago as an air show pilot. I did 1400 air shows all over the world in 40 countries, and in between flying air shows as a display pilot, I've been organizing events as well, and all events with a aviation background. The smallest one was an event for 10 persons, and the biggest one I've been involved in was an event for more than 700,000 people during the Red Bull Air Race in Rotterdam, and that was the world's biggest single aviation event ever. I consider myself as a world civilian. I'm born in the Netherlands. Yeah, I just was told you have to blame my parents for that. I can't help it, but I feel myself a world traveler. And mainly my daily business is safety. I will be assisted by Lieutenant Colonel Peter Hardebol. He's at this moment still working for the Dutch Air Force. He's flying Chinook helicopters, and I met him a long time ago, more than 25 years ago, being the leader of the Grasshoppers. And the Grasshoppers has been the Dutch Air Force helicopter demonstration team, flying the Alouette 3 helicopter, and he will be on my right hand side to assist me as what we call the aeronautical station operator. So he will talk with Princess Juliana International Airport Air Traffic Control, and also with the pilots busy performing in the box. The air show will take place between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock at Great Bay, and we will have a rehearsal with exactly the same program at Friday afternoon to test all the equipment, to see if all the communication with the services is working well, and that is our dress rehearsal. I have a picture from the old box. St. Martin, known for spectacular landings and spectacular takeoffs, and as from this weekend, also known from spectacular aerobatics taking place over the Great Bay area. This is the location where it's going to happen, the little green arc, and I will zoom into it. This is what we call the performance zone, or the aerobatic box, and that box is situated in the middle of Great Bay. Another little picture of the Great Bay area you all know. The rules and regulations we will use during this event is a combination of the rules used in the United Kingdom. Civil Aviation Authority has created a big document, and why we will use those rules and regulations, because the United States, together with England, has the biggest experience in organizing air shows. All the pilots performing will have low-level waivers. That means that every year, every single year, again, they will do a check, and they show during that check, that their performance is well calculated, that it's safe, that it's controlled, and every year they get a low-level waiver. It's according to the Regeling Luchtvaartvertoningen, or to the in the UK called the CAP 403 document. To give you a little impression about distances, how an air show is set up, it's basically divided in two areas. You have the public area, the side where the public is, and you have the display area. That's divided by an invisible line we call the display line. And that's a word you often hear during air shows when we talk about safety measures, the display line. The display line, to give you an impression, the display line, the best thing to compare it is the white line on the road, on the right side or on the left side of the road, which is guiding you and keeping you clear from the vangrail or the barrier or the side of the road. It's not a hard concrete line, but it's a safety line. Stay away from the display line.
The participation and the support of the Juliana Airport, it has been able to team up with the Downstream Business Community Council in linking the Jazz Festival, as we have promoted this event throughout the year, showing that St. Martin can and will be able to have such an event that will also attract visitors. As we speak, we have also received calls as far as Antigua of persons who wants to make sure that this is taking place, and they are on their way to St. Martin. This show is going to be again another great success because of the partnership and the support that is allowing us also to bring back one of our national stars, Mr. Carla Barito. But the main focus also would be, the first 30 minutes would be also a joint project of the junior high schools of the North and the South. Les Mondes Accords, that is also presenting a choir, bring again those schools together to show the support and the interest of moving forward in this musical industry. So we look forward for a great evening. There's a lot of anticipation and there's a lot of enthusiasm, because we also have individuals coming in. Mr. Bruce is coming in from Holland. We also have Mr. Chapon. We also have drummers coming in also from Guadeloupe. And it's allowing us to share the experience of St. Martin, not only because of us being a diverse society, but it's allowing us to mix this entire evening by showing what, together with the locals and the regional stars and international stars, would allow our entertainers also to see the importance of moving internationally as well.
Afford what you crave, life just gets so good.
And I'm feeling good, so good, so good, so good.
So good for everyone.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Need a loan that's quick and easy. Island Finance. Up to 50,000 guilders real easy. Island Finance. For education, a renovation. That's no problem. Yes, it's true. That's not all. They're quick and friendly too. Island Finance. Appliances, vacations, even fix your car. You can depend on Island Finance.
Anybody bingo? Nobody bingo.
One of the things is more and more locals that we mentioned are studying pilot, mechanic, and aviation management. Pilot studies, as we understand, has been even added to a list of scholarships. So what we ask is government to create some sort of initiative to gather those that are studying in aviation and inform all local aviation businesses that we can hire them before we consider hiring locals and looking at the hundreds of emails we get from all around the world. What can we do to make sure that we are aware, hey, there's a student that just left. He should be completing his study in a year. For example, my little brother, he's in Puerto Rico doing his flights, his aviation. We have, for example, Nicholas Shady, another young man who is studying aviation. There are various others out there, and we might not have known this if we didn't really, like I said, it's my little brother, so obviously I know. His friend is also studying, so that's how I know. But we haven't received any emails or such on their own accord from such airlines. We want, from such pilots, we want this to, whatever can be done to bring it to the attention of all local airlines. I'm sure the rest of the airlines agree with me. It's important to have as many local pilots working with us as possible. Another initiative would be to, it is at the point where I think St. Martin can have a local St. Martin Airline Association that should be formed. Now that we have multiple airlines, but also you can include stakeholders, the handlers and the travel agencies, passenger handling companies. And then government could collaborate with this body and we could meet and discuss it. And this is some of the things we are noticing, what can be done, and civil aviation can also be helped abreast. We are on the ramp all day as aviation experts, seeing what's going on. We can be the eyes and ears of government and really see how we can better our aviation product to the world. And finally, we would say definitely to continue to support the Civil Aviation Department and help us get back our Category 1 status. I think that's a very important thing to get back. We do understand to a certain extent the steps are being taken, and we would applaud government in that regard. Allow for more ramp inspections locally to ensure that there's an even playing field between the local and the foreign operators. With that, before I close, I would just definitely like to say a thanks once again to all of you honorable MPs as well, we also have to thank the Minister for his support and advice throughout this process. The Civil Aviation Department of St. Martin also has been very informative and helpful in advising us on the way to go forward with this airline. Also a special thanks to Windward Express for working with us on different projects. Mr. Jean Halley, we thank him for that as well. And everyone else who has joined me in this journey thus far. We still have more steps to go, we know this, but we do look forward to having this airline a reality within short.
First of all, Mr. Bryson and the other members here, I would like to congratulate you on the journey that you have taken, and I know it has taken you some time, but at least you've continued to push forward with your dream, and I I'm hoping to make sure that that dream is now seeing that it's becoming a reality. Congratulations. I just wanted to ask you one or two questions, and it mainly had to do with the points of you had a market share you were showing of St. Bart's, Anguilla, and other islands that actually use the passenger base that comes into St. Martin and actually goes to those islands. Have you encountered, besides the regular, let me put it this way, bureaucracy, that those islands tend to not want to have an airline like yourself operate in, for example, St. Bart's or Anguilla or the other islands in more of a sense of trying to protect their own carriers, or have you seen it very much of a open sky, open, no kind of competition position? Those are, because I'm seeing that many of the other islands often protect their own interests and actually are the ones that are deriving the greater benefit from St. Martin. And in St. Martin, we tend to allow everyone in. That's the only real question that I have for you, Mr. Bryson, so that we can try to help you and the rest as well to promote not only our airport but also the continued viability of our own people. And again, my congratulations to you on the hard work that you've put into this effort.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank.
Anybody bingo? Nobody bingo.
We have seen the results of what has happened when candidates or parliamentarians move from one party to another or even become independent. There's an enormous amount of instability in government, and what we're seeing that our own people here but also abroad, they're looking at us and they want to see a stable government. And therefore, I believe that we shouldn't deal with that. But that also has to do with integrity. The St. Martin Christian Party will not be jumping. We will be stable. If we can't work with somebody and we have been elected, we'll do what we are called and elected to do for the people of St. Martin. But I believe also that we should be able to compromise to some extent. We don't always get our way in life. And sometimes you have to put a little water in the wine. Sometimes you have to give in. Sometimes you lose to win another battle. And there are different strategies. But to me, the one way, say, if I don't get my way, if it's not my way, it's no way. I don't think that that's a good strategy. And I think that's sending a wrong message to the people of St. Martin. I mean, the youth, as we say, they're the leaders of the future, and they need to be molded from the very beginning. And, you know, sometimes I think we can't wait until they're youths. We also have to find strategies to work with the children, because children become youths. And you see, when a child is young, it's easier to mold and to shape that child. Just like a young tree. You can shape it and mold it, but when it gets older, it's very difficult to do that. And therefore, we would not only want to work with the youth and the teenagers, but also develop programs for our children, so that from creche, from, well, there's no kindergarten anymore, but from grade 1, we need to work with them, and we need to work with schools with after programs, school programs, and with the other extracurricular activities that can be done to keep our youth busy and active. As I told you, when I was a teacher, I went around and took children off the streets and took them in my little car, either giving them extra lessons in the afternoon, or on Saturdays we would go up to the radio station. And I believe that working with our youth and helping our youth is not only the problem of a government or the responsibility of the government. We all have to get involved, and our party will look for ways to get people involved, so that our youth and our children, they can be trained and taught in such a way that when they reach, you know, teenage age, that they can keep themselves busy and not be involved in, you know, negative behavior. So it's going to require all of us to work together. Some people, you know, in the community will look at a party and look at government and say, government must do this. But this is our society, and we must work together. Don't leave it only up to government. Government can steer the process, but we all need to get on board to save our society.
I call on the nation, both North and South, to reflect this November 11th on what it means to be culturally diverse. Reflect on how far we have come and look at the future, on where we need to go and continue to grow as a nation and as a people of this 37 square mile island. Without a doubt, unity indeed comes first and transcends any border. But the question we have to ask ourselves today, that unity coming first, is it only for today? What are we going to do tomorrow? What are we going to do in December? What are we going to do next Saturday? Is unity still going to be the point to come first? If we are talking about unity, if we are talking about one island, I can look at many here in this crowd who has told me over and over, they got months they don't go to the French side. Now they are going because it's more attractive to shop. The euro is a good rate, and many of them are using that opportunity. But how many of us just take time out and just run over, take a ride, or take a walk through Marigot, or go to Grand Cars and walk down the main street and meet somebody and meet friends and say hello? It is about time we start doing that. And we're not going to do that, in particular, since we got a bridge and a roundabout in Cold Bay. When we get in Cold Bay, we don't go Marigot, we get in the roundabout and we come back home. And then we talk about unity. Unity has to be something from your heart. And you got to feel it. I feel it every day. Every day I make sure I visit the French side in particular French Quarter, to visit my family and say hello to them. Because many of us have family from both sides of this island. But do we visit them? How many of us on the Dutch side have family up in Colombia? And we only go look for them if we're on a political list and we know that they can vote and they're up in Colombia. The rest of the year we don't go Colombia itself to see how the mango tree is looking. So if we're talking about unity and coming together, it has to be a continuous exercise and not only a word-of-mouth one that we come and talk about here on the 11th of November. I want to give a short report on what my government has been able to do in the short 9, how many months we had, Rita? 10 months? 9, 10? Anyway, that we've been there. We are very proud to report that from in January or February, we went over to the French side, the entire council of ministers, and met with the government, the collectivité. And we also met with the Prefet Delegate at that time, Mr. Chopin. And Madame Chopin, since she has been posted here, Madame la Prefet, sorry, Madame la Prefet, we've had a very good relationship up until now. We've been working on many things jointly. We were very happy and privileged to have worked jointly with the French authority on the visit of the President of the Republic, President François Hollande, which showed a teamwork, team spirit between the different entities on the Dutch and French side in preparing for such a visit of such a magnitude.